Good morning, guys. It's day of locals. Normally I try and film this a day or two before, but we was in London yesterday for a wedding, so yeah, doing it all today. So last week there was 5 rounds, which went a bit longer than what I initially hoped, and you always kind of start lagging by round 5, but it is what it is. We went 3-2, which was really good, and we came 5th place overall. Goal is to always plus, so if there's 4 rounds, ideally I want to go 3-1, but I'm always happy with a 2-2 result. And in a 5-round week, you want a 3-2 result minimum. Looking back over the gameplay against Devon, I really don't think there's a whole lot I could do. And same with Solomon. I don't know their decks well enough to know when to interact with or when to stop. But we are running a different build today. A slightly different build. I say slightly, it's quite different to be fair. We are just one extra deck card off from playing a top 16 deck list from regionals earlier this year, which Lampy YGO uploaded to his Instagram and YouTube channel, so feel free to check out Lampy. He is huge in the Yu-Gi-Oh community and really good commentator as well, and really knows his stuff. So with that being said, let's get into the deck profile and we'll go over what's changed. Okay, so this is the overview of the deck. As you can see, the side has completely changed other than the imperms, the evenlies and the Invader of Darkness. But still, going over the main package here, which is the Chimera package, you've got your 3 Kotal, your 3 Mirror Sword Knight, your 3 Fusion, 3 Gazelle, 2 Birthnet, 1 Tout and 1 End of Anubis as usual. Here's where the change comes in. The branded line has been stripped down to just 2 Albas and 3 branded fusions, and we are now on the Edge Imp package. So we've got the 3 Frightful Patchwork, our 2 Polys and our 2 Edge Imp chains. I've never been a huge fan of this package, so hopefully it will do something today. Yeah, I don't know what it is, I've just never really liked it, I've never gelled with it. But here's the biggest change. We are running cross-up designator. We finally got our copies. So all hand traps have been dropped down to 2. So we've got 2 Ash, 2 Imperm, 2 Droll and 2 Veiler. We're still playing the 3 Fenrir, of course. In the extra deck, the change here is we've doubled up on the Baphomet. So that is now 2 instead of just 1. All these other cards are still the same as last week. But we finally took out the Gilded Gearfried. Also, if I ever go to a regional or a higher event, then I'll drop one of the Mirror Jades for it, just because at that point I feel it will be more beneficial. And then with the sides, we've got the Super Poly on the side, which I'm really not happy about. I actually really like Super Poly in the main. As you saw against Callum last week in the mirror match, that really came in clutch and took me game 1 very early and very quickly. So not having it in the main, I feel, is a bit of a risk, I'm not going to lie. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what 3 cards I would side out for it. So it might be a case of we might have to smoke screen here and throughout the games drop the Edge Imp package altogether. So that will free up 7 slots, chuck in the 3 Super Polys, the 2 Ghost Bells, and then up the Ash and the Imperm or something. I'm not really sure, but we'll tweak as we go and we'll see how we get on. That's all I do with this series, is each week is to try something different, see how we get on with it, see our thoughts on it and what we would like to tweak and change. But so let's go ahead and I will catch you guys at locals. What's up, guys? So here we are in round 1. My opponent's going first. We're against David on the dinos, and he specs the Fenrir. Then he goes ahead and summons the new dino. I have no idea what this thing's called, so we're just going to call him the new dino, which allows him to search for polymerization. He activates it, fuses into the new fusion, which allows him to set a field spell directly from his deck, and then gives him additional normal summons. Here comes the Soul Eater Overraptor. Then he activates a True King of Calamity field spell, which allows him to get another new field spell. He pops the baby gets the other baby with a little shell on its head, all this good stuff. Then we get the Collector's Rare Xeno, whatever it's called. And then here comes Bron. So cool. As you can see here, I just don't do well against dinosaurs. Yeah. He's just comboing off. I got nothing. He now gets to rip 3 cards out of my extra deck. And all good fun. So off they go. Then he gets his Xenomorph thing back, and it's rough. He overlays into Lars thing, which basically allows him to negate a face-up card by detaching material. So I'll go ahead, activate Kurtle, search the Gazelle, activate Branded Fusion, bait out one of the negates, which are cool. Normal summon thingy, he goes ahead and activates Baron Negate, and I'll scoop it up because there's literally fuck all I can do. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I'll skip it up and we go to game 2. So I'll be back in a moment after shuffling and siding. Okay, so here we are in round 2. I go ahead and spec Fenrir because why not? And activate Kurtle, discarding of it, set Gazelle. Gazelle normal summons to add the card. I go ahead and fusion summon. I go straight into the Baphomet here, which looking back was the mistake. I needed to go into the regular Gazelle first. I needed to set up the thing to spec back. And I realised here I set to, yes, I've got the Chimera Fusion spell as a follow-up, which I wouldn't have normally if I did it the other way, but the other way would give me, like I said, I'd be able to lock out his graveyard, which honestly I feel would have just been that little bit more beneficial given what we're looking at. So yeah, I managed to imperm, but then he specs Miscellaneous, which just goes, yeah, cool, you're not touching my dinos with card effects. And it's like, oh, okay. So I can't touch your dinos with card effects. I've got no hand trap interruptions. Yeah, it's just like, cool. Not a whole fucking lot I could do. Excuse my language, yeah, but it's true though. There's really just nothing I can do here. So I've just got to sit back, watch him pop off, and just really hope that he messes up the combo, which David doesn't, because David knows dinosaurs. So yeah, as you can tell here, I'm just not having a good time in this game. It's just going straight out, and he's just ripped cards out of my extra deck, and yeah. But hey, we live, we learn, hopefully, and hopefully I can better prepare for more Dino matchups in the future, because here I just lose, to put it simply. There's no ifs, buts or maybes here. I'll just lose. Look at his board, look what he's doing. He then puts my monster face down, pops, sends, attack, and yeah, that's I live only just, but yeah, and yeah, yeah, it's just not happening. This game's a bust. We all know it here. I'll summon Albaz, and just nothing I can do really. Yeah, I'm looking through, just kind of hitting and hoping, and yeah. So I've got the monster out, which can now 0 off his monster attack and negate them permanently. Try and do some damage, and yeah, I managed to do a little bit, managed to do some, but it's just not going to work. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I do definitely lose this game 2-0. So yeah, I get 2-0 here. But it is what it is. Like I said, we live and learn. It's always fun to play against David. He's a nice guy, and I love playing against him. And yeah, you just can't get mad. Sometimes, like, you have nothing, your opponent has everything. And even in cases like this, they don't even have everything. They just have the right cards to counter you. And they had the right cards to counter me. So there you go. That is game day. He literally had game on the field, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, he's doing his combo, and off we go. So that was the end of round 1. As you saw, that did not go well at all. I got absolutely stomped by David on the dinos. is what it is. It's 4 rounds today, so hopefully I can still go 2-2. I'm just on the back foot now. In game 1, I opened cross out, and I was just sat there thinking, when I was looking at his board, like, I could have, if that's Super Poly, I could have done something, but it is what it is. We'll see how we get on, and we'll see what else we can do in game 2. So I will catch you guys then. Okay, so here we go for round 2, and we are against Joe playing Runic. Well, it's Runic. Oh god, I forgot what they're called. Bad guys in 5Ds use them. Oh my god, Earthbounds. Yeah, so he gets his thing out. I imperm it. We go off here a little bit. I get the poly. We fuse off into the Lubellion. We're definitely cooking here. We're definitely cooking a little bit. We get Mirror Jade. I've got to activate Mirror Jade here because like he can defend his monster. Runic's doing what Runic does and all this good stuff. He goes in Stardust Charge Warrior to draw a card. And then he just has to pass. He doesn't really have much here going on. We activate the Fight for Fusion. We fuse off the Mirror Jade into the Magnum the Reliever. I put Poly on the bottom of the deck so I can draw a card, activate the Branded Fusion, sending off the Gazelle and the Fallen of Albaz to go into the Riberan, which also puts the Gazelle live so I can get up the Kotal specs, and he skips up and we move to game 2. So I'll be back after shuffling and siding. Okay, so here we go again, and same thing. He gets the Huggins out, I imperm. However, this time he has more Earthbound follow-up. So he has the monkey does stuff. He goes into the Rose Garden Girl thing, which allows him to get Field Spell. But then he synchros both of them on into Cold Dragon. He then activates the Rose thing, giving me a plant token, blows it up to spec back a monster with 800 attack. So I believe that was the monkey. When he goes into the Baron, he activates another spell to get Jerry out. Now we're into Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon blows up his field spell, so he gains 1000 and can search a different field spell. That's my turn. Activate Patchwork, get that Edge Imp and Poly. Activate the Poly, go straight into the Berthamut so I can Foolish Burial. He goes to activate something. I can't remember what he went to activate. I think it's the Baron, but I use the... Oh my god, why am I struggling with words here? The Mirror Sword Knight to go into thingy. I use Magnum Reliever so I can draw the card, and then when any other card's activated, I can chain Magnum Reliever, banishing a fusion spell to pop a card. And here we go. And because I activated the card, I can now banish a fusion spell to blow up his Baron. However, I cannot get over the Ancient Fairy Dragon's defense with Magnum the Reliever, so now I've had to pass turn. Here comes Cold Dragon back again, and then he sets it defense and passes turn. So that was my turn, and we set a card, and I just punch into the Cold Dragon, and I do Ash the Search. But then he, on his turn, he normal summons the monkey. The monkey does what the monkey does. I'll be honest with you, I just don't know these new cards well enough to really comment here. All I know is he activates the Earthbound field spell, goes into Chenglong thing, just punches over, does a whole bunch of damage to me. Activate evenly so we get rid of everything but Chenglong, and then he sets a card. He activates Runic Fountain, and then I think that's Freezing Chain of Destruction. So yeah, I'm taking some damage. You know, things are happening. This all came down to a top deck situation. I had to check my thing, and I just had nothing. So we scoop up and we go to game 3. Here we are for game 3, and I normal summon Gazelle, searches, activate Poly to go into the Berthamut. The Berthamut effect is sending the Invader of Darkness. I then activate Poly again to go into Chimera so I can rip a random card. I search the Kotal, activate the Kotal to search the Gazelle, and then I rip a random card out of Joe's hand, and we pass turn. So he just punches over my my Gazelle, which is actually helpful. I needed Gazelle Chimera in the grave to get the Invader of Darkness back, and then I banished the Baphomet to get the Chimera back. The monkey's here though. The monkey does a whole bunch of cool stuff. Reason why I had to get the Chimera out is to keep the Mirror Sword Knight alive, so if he went to Prankatop's effect, I could just negate it, but he gives me the token gets the monkey back, he goes into the Baron. He's having a really good think about what he wants to do here, because obviously he could Baron pop, I could Kotal negate, which I negated his field spell, which really backfired. I really should have read that, because what that meant then is, because I negated and destroyed the field spell, it meant that it negated all of my monster effects at the end of the turn, and I lost half of my life points. So yeah, he burnt me for 4,000 points of damage. And right there, I knew it was writing on the wall. There was only about 2 minutes left on the round. I weren't pulling this back, regardless of what I could do. I weren't pulling it back enough to clear that field and do 4,000 points of damage. It just was not happening. So the writing was on the wall, but we played it out anyway, because I love playing Joe. Generally, he is my favourite opponent. Either Joe or Dan are my favourite opponents to play against. And that's not taking anything away from anyone else. It's just, it is competitively casual, shall we say, when we play. And so that's the end of round 2, and again I got absolutely clapped by Runic. What was it? Runic Earthbound.
Yeah.
Runic Earthbound.
That's not my trade bond.
And I got fucked up. So yeah, I am currently X2. So I need to win my next 2 games to at least go 2-2 today. Safe to say, I'm not enjoying the new build of the deck. I feel last week's build was definitely better. We'll see. I will catch you guys in the next one. Okay guys, so here we are in round 3. We're against Isaac, and he is on such a fun deck. He is on Mementos. Now this deck did pique my interest a little bit, because I love my jokey little meme decks. And yeah, so he pots for 6. I have to give these Memento cards a good little read. So he goes ahead, specs the horse, because he controls no monster, and then horse can pop itself to send Memento monsters from his deck to the grave up to the level of the horse, which is 5. Then you can go ahead and normal summon Angel. Sorry, not Angel, which allows him to search for a Mementos when it's normal special summoned. And he does this whole thing, shuffles back 5, and because he shuffled back 5 different names, he can spec out the big boy. Now the big boy has, I think it's 5,000 attack and 5,000 defense, and like it has a quite cool effect. However, there's like no inherent protection, so therefore it's very vulnerable to everything still. He went to Ash me. I cross out designated the Ash. It was the first time the cross out came up. And then, the Gazelle comes out. I now activate the Chimera Fusion because I got drolled, which, cool, fair enough. I activate the Chimera Fusion. He activated something to steal my monster. However, I did still have a thing in hand, so I could go to Baphomet and send Tal to grave. When Tal goes to grave, I get to spec back an illusion monster. So I spec back the Mirror Sword Knight. I go ahead and activate the Chimera Fusion, add it back, and then I go into my OTK machine. But I'm not OTKing here, so I take some damage. And then punch into his other monster. So I haven't killed him. However, both his monsters' attacks are now 0, and they have their effects negated, but he links off into Phoenix here, and Isaac did really misplay. He thought it counted up to 5, so he was going to go Underworld Goddess. However, I have a fusion monster, not a link monster on the field, so his maths was a little off, and it only went to 4, and as such, he went into Nightmare Phoenix again, thinking, oh, cool, now it can go into Underworld Goddess. No, because again, his link rating only equaled 4, including using one of mine. So he really misplayed that. He thought he had on the world of the goddess, but he just didn't, which is a shame. I wonder how that would have played out if that was realised. But yeah, it happens. We all misplay. So I will be back after we have shuffled for game 2. Okay guys, so here we go, we're in game 2 now. Isaac's going first yet again, and he goes ahead and activates Bone Party, which is, he gets to ditch one to add one, or spec one. So here comes something, and then there goes the Goblin. Like I said, I don't really know what these cards exactly do, but yeah, they're fun cards. They are fun, and they do look fun. So I think the whole premise of this deck is that you get the big 5k dude out like turn 1, and then just hope your opponent can't out it, I guess. I go ahead, activate evenly during the end of battle step. He activates his quick play spell, which does something, but nothing gets banished then because he's only left with 1 card. I go ahead, Fallen of Albaz into the Lubellion. I ditch the additional one for I ditched the additional thingy for the fusion spell. He goes through the whole combo here, pots, gets everything he needs. Yeah, he does the whole thing to get to the big 5k dude. However, what we realised as well is that Isaac is only running one of them. We did sit down afterwards and speak about his ratios. Because he only runs one, as soon as he touches the field and he has no protection, I literally just Mirror Jade banish it, and that is game, because he knows from there he is not recovering. So he scoops it up and we take game number 3. That's the end of round 3, and I took that game against Isaac. He was playing Memento, which is quite a fun deck looking at it. Obviously it is still missing some pieces, which hopefully the new support that comes out will help with that. Also his ratios were a bit off, as he said himself, and but yeah, no, always fun playing Isaac. But now I'm X2 still, so got one more round to go, and hopefully I can get that 2-2. But definitely not enjoying this build of my deck. I feel the crossouts, as good as they are, should maybe be in the side instead, and then I can take out things like the effect mailers and streamline the deck a little bit more. I'll have to think about it and see what we cook up for next week, but for now we've got one more round. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so here we are in game 4 today, and we're against Brandon, who is on branded Predaplant something or other. He goes ahead, summons the Keeper Dragon. I imp him. I then go ahead and activate Polly to get out the Birthmet, which allows me a Foolish Burial, the Kotal. The Birthmet effect obviously allows me to spec back a illusion, so I go ahead and get back the Master Tau. I then punch over his monster, and he draws and passes. I normal summon Mirror Sword Knight. It gets dashed, so I just punch for 24 and pass turn. Here comes the Albaz. The Albaz effect, I'll go ahead and banish the Mirror Sword Knight to negate, but he activates something else which basically had a super poly effect to it. So cool, I'm not really sure what happened, but here comes Mirror Jade. He activated something, I can't remember what now, and I ashed it. I really hoped he kind of forgot that illusion monsters can't be destroyed by battle. However, he does remember Mirror Jade's effects to banish Tau. So cool, and then he punches me for 3k. I am in a top deck situation, which is not what you need for this deck. I draw, and the top deck was branded Fusion. Like, my god, you could not get a better top deck if I tried. He goes ahead and does this thing where it super polyfuses again. I will get the Mirror Sword Knight, normal summon, but pass. Yeah, and I was like, okay, cool, I normal summon, he negates, I get the game here, so I'll skip up and we move to game 2, so we will be back after siding. Okay, so here we are for game 2, and I'm going to first start off by specking Fenrir and then discarding Kotal, normal summon the Mirror Sword Knight, activate the Mirror Sword Knight to get the Birth Murt effect to add, and then the Chimera Fusion to go into Chimera. So we go through the thing of rip a card, spec and add. I go ahead and grab the Chimera Fusion, then go straight into the Birth Murt, keeping the Chimera on the field, and then I can Foolish Burial the End of Anubis, Master Tau, specs back the Kotal. I then activate the Patchwork to grab that, and then I activate the Monster Reborn to get the Magnum Reliever. I go ahead again, put the Poly on the bottom deck, draw a card, and the top deck was Branded Fusion. Like, my god, the absolute power this M-board has. So I go ahead and summon Albion. I go to activate Albion's effect. Brandon weren't sure if I was able to, because obviously I don't have the space. I was sitting next to another judge, because I never judge my own games, because I'm not that guy. I asked the other judge, is it, I'm activating the effect, is it legal? He said yes, because the space would free up, because I am using the materials on field. So then we get rid of the Albion, go into the Mirror Jade. Then from here, he activates the Dragon. I use the Mirror Sword Knight to negate, so he's stopping from getting the fusion spell. I activate the Magnum Reliever and then cash, and he just scoops it up. He's not playing through that board. So we are going to a game 3. So we'll be back after siding. Okay, so here we go for round 3, and Brendan's going first by activating Branded Lost, ditching the other Branded Lost to spec the Eluba. The Eluba activates to search for the Branded whatever that card is, and then he activates Branded Fusion. I attempted to Ghost Spell. It was stupid of me. I revealed card knowledge, what I shouldn't have revealed, because at the end of the day I couldn't Ghost Spell it because I can't react to a fusion summon. Now that continuous spell card is one I'm still not overly familiar with. I've never played it, and the wording of it is quite ambiguous, so. But, yeah, I've given out the card knowledge, so, yeah, he baits it out with the trap card, which is cool, fair enough. I don't blame him for baiting it out. I had to use it, and he passes with Mirror Jade and whatever. Activate evenly, because, yeah, why wouldn't you use it? He wasn't sure if he wanted to keep Mirror Jade or the face down. And then activate Kotal, discarding of the Kotal to grab the Mirror Sword Knight. I'll go ahead and activate Poly, send in Gazelle and Mirror Sword Knight for the Birth Murt. The Birth Murt effect will allow me to Foolish the Mirror Sword Knight. I spec out the Birth Murt searches. We go through everything. We get the Chimera, we get the Mirror Sword Knight back. I get the Chimera Fusion back. I go into the OTK dude. So now I can attack twice. So the first attack negates the Mirror Sword, will negate thingy and 0 it, doing 100 damage, and then a 31 direct. Activate Branded Fusion, and I've got all the bits on the field for the OTK, and that is game. So, okay, and that is the end of round 4. So I managed to clutch up back. I lost the first game, but we was able to pull it back and took that game 2-1. So we are now 2-2 for the day. At least I didn't go negative. I'll take the neutral score. The deck definitely needs work. I feel the crossouts are actually the issue. But before I do that, I know another YouTuber who I follow has uploaded a video a while back about their build on it. So I'm going to have a look at that, see what I can incorporate, see what I can do, and go from there. So we'll be back next week with a different build, and hopefully we'll settle on a build soon and start the grind for that wedding fund. Speaking of which, I have teamed up with 2 other guys here at Locals, David and Wally. They are becoming vendors and stuff. They just haven't had time to list things online and to sell. So I am doing that for them, and I get to take a cut of everything I sell, which is an amazing opportunity for me, and I'm really grateful they've given me this opportunity. And thanks to this and the cards I've sold through them, our wedding fund is currently sitting at just short of £40, which doesn't sound a lot, but when my target was £20 in a month, the fact I have doubled that target is absolutely insane, and we still have another week. No, I think this might actually be the last week for January, but the fact that we've doubled that target is just amazing. And you know, I've still got more cards to sell, as well as my own actual trade binder, which everything in there is for sale. I've added some cards to it. Check out my Instagram under the same name, Mystic Frost 86. I'll put a list of all the cards, or photos of all the cards I've got for sale there, and then if you're interested in buying some, check it out. And if you do like this video, or you just want to support me and help grow my channel, try and get me to 100 subs so I can go live, please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and leave a comment. It all helps push through the algorithm. And share the video with a friend who you think might enjoy this. And I'll catch you guys next week. Also, sorry, quickly, I will catch you guys over on TikTok later with the deck profile and the local report. So I will see you guys later.